So, as I mentioned earlier in the week, ON1 is a production suite. And today, what we're going to do is take a look at some of the masking tools that are available to us that are usually pretty challenging to use inside of other software. But ON1 really does make it easy to use. So let's jump into the computer and take a look at that. Here we are inside of the computer, and we're going to start off with a luminosity mask. Now, for those of you who are familiar with luminosity mask, it is something that is challenging to create inside of Photoshop if you're not using one of like the TK or the Lumi 32s or one of those panels that selects all of the luminance values for you. But inside of ON1, it's really easy. Let me show you. So I'm going to go ahead and click on local, and I'm just going to add a local adjustment. And you could really create this with literally any of the masks inside of ON1. So if you see this little mask icon or thumbnail, this little rectangle with a circle in it, or in this case, just a black box because the mask activated, then you can do this. All you have to do is right click on it and click on create luminosity mask. Now, that's the way that I prefer to do it. Another way that you can do it is you can select the thumbnail for the mask, and then you can come over to your masking options. Your properties may not be nested over here in the right column like mine are. Maybe you have the floating window, but you just go to the masking properties, and then you can go to this little light bulb. And when you click it, what it's going to do is analyze your image, and it's going to apply the effect, which in this case is a negative exposure. It's going to apply it to the brightest areas of the image. Let me show you what that looks like by turning on the mask overlay. I'm going to hit the letter O, and this is our mask overlay. It's really hard to see right now. Let me make some modifications to it so it's a little bit easier for you to see what's happening here. I'm going to hover over masking, and then I'm going to pull the window up towards the right. And you can see what's happening. As soon as I get to really the midtones, only this strip of light is getting selected by ON1 because that's the brightest area of the image. So now if I were to hit the letter O, you can see that negative exposure is only happening in that bright strip of light. Now, this doesn't look very good, and I would never recommend that you use it in this regard. I just wanted to showcase kind of how the luminosity mask works. So let's go ahead and do something that's a little bit more appropriate for this particular image. So I'm going to hit the letter O just so I get a look at what is being selected. And with most masks, it's always good to use a feather. So I'm going to come back up here to masking, and then I'm going to pull up on the feather. And what the feather does is it kind of fades the edges and blurs the mask so it blends a little bit better in the photo. Now, you can take this too far in some cases where you pull it up to 100%, and then it just doesn't look natural. So if I were to pull up on the exposure here, you can see how that's just not looking the best. Or maybe I want to recover some highlights. I can pull that down, and that actually works fine in this image for recovering highlights. So that is a method. You can pull up 100% on the feather, and it does what it does. But I usually like to keep some structure to my mask, and that's where I usually pull the feather up just a little bit, just to like give the edges a slight blur, enough to make it make sense for my edit. But your images are going to require something more or less. Now, the other way that you can modify a mask is by using the levels. And the levels are kind of a trial and error type of thing, right? So if I pull the midtones or things that are more gray, and I pull them towards the black slider, it's telling ON1 to consider those more light. Essentially, it's this trade-off between the midtones to the brightest point. And if I pull this over to the far left, you can see it's having very minimal impact overall. But if I pull this over to the far left, things get darker because I'm telling ON1 exclude things that are way up here in the transition between what you are making the mask off of. I may not have explained that the best, but trust me, that's why I say this particular aspect is trial and error. And the more you use it, the better or the easier it's going to be. And you might get frustrated with it the first couple tries of trying to use it, because you do have to kind of wrap your mind around what ON1 is really trying to do and what you're telling ON1 to do, right? ON1 is an obedient piece of software that when you tell it to do something, it's going to do it. You may not know what you're trying to tell it to do, or you do know what you're trying to tell it to do, but you're telling it in the wrong way, in which case you may get the results that you don't really care to get. So that's just something to keep in mind, but I digress. Nonetheless, you can definitely reshape the mask by using levels and the window slider whenever you're working with the luminosity mask. I'm going to hit the letter O so we can get back to the actual image. And now we're going to jump over to effects, and we're going to work with the next tool. So I'm going to hit effects, hit add filter. And the tool that I want to work with is the LUT filter. So the reason why I chose the LUT filter is just because it throws all this color into the image, and it usually injects color in places like darker areas. And this is one of those photos that I think by putting some color into the darker to really look cool. So we'll come into color grading, and I'm just going to cycle through a few of these, just finding one that fits the overall tone, like this one. I think this one looks really good. And then I'll up on the contrast just a little bit, and maybe even the saturation, just to give it a little bit more color. So let's turn this off and then turn it back on. And you can see it really brings out texture in the clock here, and it just fits the overall atmosphere. So what I want to do is remove the light from this area right here. Now, this is a straight line. So what I can do is just go ahead and click on the LUT filter mask icon, and then with the brush set to erase, because right now it's white, so that means it's going over the entire photo. All right, the effect of the LUT is going over the entire photo. What I want to do is I want to click one time. I'm going to make the brush a little bit larger. We'll do it like this. I'm going to click one time, and then I'm going to hold down the shift key, let go of the click, and then I'm going to come down here to the end, press the shift key, and then I'm going to click again right here. Now, what that did was it created a straight line mask. If I hit the letter O, you can see it just created a straight line. And all I did was I made my brush size a little bit smaller when I got to the end there, because the light source was a little bit smaller down here. It's wider up here and smaller down here. So that's essentially what I did. And this is one of the really cool masking features inside of ON1. I know other programs have it, but it's inside of ON1, so I'm talking about it. And the reason why this is cool is you can get looks that you wouldn't really be able to get, if you didn't have this feature. And it's also kind of hidden if you didn't know that it was there, which is why I wanted to cover it in today's video. So hopefully you found value. If you are finding value in the rest of the video, consider hitting that like button and subscribing. And then, of course, if you think it is worthwhile, share it with someone who you think would also find value in this exact software. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our next mask. And to really help us with this, I'm going to use a photo filter in fact, I'm going to use the antique filter. So antique, boom. We're going to put that over this image. And I really like what it does to the photo, but not this particular preset. We're going to find something that is a little bit more brown, and we're going to try to complement what's going on with the LUT that we've applied. All right, so if I turn this off, you can see the LUT, it adds in a little bit of brown, and then this is adding in a lighter shade of brown, so to speak. So we're going to roll with it. But I'm going to go ahead and pull down on the opacity somewhere, maybe around here. And then we'll throw some saturation in there to really make this punch. All right. So now we have a pretty good blend between what we were getting. Maybe I'll pull it down a little bit more. There we go. So now that we have a decent blend, let's go ahead and click on our mask icon here. And then I'm going to hit the letter M on the keyboard. This is going to bring up the masking bug. And if you watched any of the videos, you already know what is going on inside of the masking bug. But if you're new here, then this is essentially our gradient mask workspace. So all the tools that you would have in a normal gradient mask, that's what's inside of the masking bug. One of those, if I click on the shape, is going to be the reflected gradient. And this is perfect for photos like this, where there is this symmetry of light that's just splitting the image. And I want to really affect everything on opposite sides of that light. So I've already selected my reflected gradient. I'm just going to click right here and you can see what it does already. If I hit the letter O, again, anything that's in black is not going to receive the effect, and anything that's in white is going to receive the effect. I'll go ahead and hit the letter O again, rotate this around to kind of go in the direction of the light. And the cool thing about the reflected gradient is I get to adjust these gradient filters all the way up to that big dot or circle. And I can do that on both sides. So I can make a very, very narrow passage here. So if I hit the letter O, you can see what that looks like. I can do that. Or I can make it really, really wide. But I also get access to these perforated lines, just like so. So what I can do is that secondary color that we just added in with the antique filter, I can fade this into the image. So essentially everything that's at the corner coming up to the light is getting that faded color look, if you will. And then everything that's further away from here is not receiving that. Or I'm sorry, everything that's closer to this solid line is not receiving this filter look. So I'll just go ahead and pull this back just like so, and maybe even something like that. And now what I can do, because this is having a very, very muted effect overall, right? Like I've brightened up the top portions here, the bottom portions. I think that it's helped build some dimension, but maybe what I need to do is bring up the opacity one more time. And this time, maybe work with the brightness to darken those areas. It's kind of like adding a vignette with some color tint to it. So that's, kind of a fun way to work. I can also play with the fade here. And this is the reason why I like playing with tools and doing things that maybe you wouldn't do in other editing software or wherever you may be. So I'll go ahead and pull down on the opacity again, because I don't think that we need that much of the effect in here. But if I hit the / key, this is the image that we came into ON1 Photo Raw with. And here is what I'm going to call the final image. It's not like this drastic change, but it's definitely something that's stylized and it's subtle. You would believe that this was captured in the light exactly like it is being portrayed in this image. And that's kind of the point of using the masks and, working with your edits inside of ON1. So if you got questions, leave it down in the comment section below. I'd love to answer any questions that you have about the masking. And I am going to create a dedicated masking tutorial, but there's just so many masks inside of ON1 that it is hard for me to create a dedicated tutorial that isn't going to be an hour long. So if you want the hour-long masking tutorial, write 1 hour masking tutorial down in the comment section, and that will let me know to jump right on that. Now, if you want to learn more about ON1 Photo Raw, particularly in the area of masking, then one of the best ways is through a one-on-one coaching call with me. You can sign up for that down in the description box below. There is a link for it. And I will answer as many of your questions about masking during that coaching call. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check that out. If you were considering picking up anything from the ON1 Photo Raw store, consider using the link down in the description box below. It's an affiliate link, which means that if you purchase through it, I make a small commission, but that's at no extra charge to you. It helps support this channel, and I greatly appreciate it. So until next time, I want you to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.